Last night, the Braves had to put all the puzzle pieces together to earn their 7th straight win. Starting pitching, plate discipline, an efficient bullpen, and outstanding defense extended the Braves' winning streak and helped slow down the Marlins' postseason plans. Tonight, the Braves go for their 8th straight victory next on Fox Sports South. We welcome you once again to the magical city of Miami. Tonight, Game 3 of our 4-game set with the Marlins here at Marlins Park. The Braves are on a late season roll. They've won 7 straight. They'll try to make it a season-high 8 in a row here in South Florida tonight. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip, welcome back to the ballpark. What a win for the Braves last night, a last-at-bat victory. The Braves continue to roll along, and something, Joe, we've seen a lot this month of September, a total team effort.
Well, it's been a great road trip to watch. It's been very entertaining, and while the Braves fell behind early last night, one of the good things that happened was that Matt Wisler found himself, held them to just 2 runs after that first inning, and gave his offense a chance to catch up. And boy, did they go to work. A lot of good things started happening. Freddie extended his hitting streak. They took advantage of a couple of miscues by the Marlins, and then some clutch hitting, too, by some guys, most notably Tyler Flowers, who drove in a couple of runs for the Braves, and that was a 2-out double. So everything the Braves were doing was clicking. Emilio Bonifacio with a base hit, stolen base, scored on the 2-out hit by Garcia. This has all been fun to watch.
And how about this play by Tyler Flowers? Maybe the biggest play of the ball game, a caught stealing to keep the Marlins no chance to take the lead the ninth.
Well, as Tyler said, I waited till the fastest guy tried to steal, and then I decided to throw another guy out. And then, of course, the game-ending great catch by Mallex Smith this time. The defense was really in charge there late in the ball game.
So it's safe to say the Braves have plenty of momentum. The old saying, momentum is as good as your next day's starting pitcher. Well, Aaron Blair has gotten into the win column. Let's see if he can make it 2 in a row tonight.
He's got some momentum going after a good start in New York. He won his first big league game after a little bit of a mechanical adjustment where he didn't quite turn as much in his windup, even in his stretch. I thought it helped him with his command. He had good stuff and beat the Mets for his first big league W. So, you know, he's feeling good about himself coming in here to Miami. He did face the Marlins earlier this year, right around Memorial Day, and he pitched well and got a no decision.
So, Paul Bird, Aaron Blair tries to make it 2 in a row personally and 8 in a row for the Braves tonight.
I like Aaron Blair, guys. I'm going to tell you why I like him right here. This is the fastball. Index finger, middle finger, the changeup. You scoot it over on these outer fingers, not as strong. Comes in, looks like a fastball, but it's not. It is the toughest pitch to throw in the game, and Aaron Blair has a great one. So if he can hit his spots, mix in that breaking ball, and show that great changeup that's very hard to throw, I like the Braves' chances. Everybody clicking, guys. It'll be a fun one to watch. Back to you.
You know what I like about this, guys? This is one of those nights where it's Blair, Swanson, and Inciarte up the middle all came in that one deal.
Great point. Incredible deal by Coppolella. Yeah, everything the Braves had hoped for is paying off, Joe.
Well, let's see if Atlanta can make it 8 straight. Should be a beautiful night for baseball. It's the Braves, it's the Marlins. Starting lineups, first pitch from Miami FLA right after a break.
Delta Airlines, your local Ford dealer, the Home Depot, and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports. Your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. The Georgia Lottery. And Synovus, the bank of here.
We welcome you back to Marlins Park in Miami. Moments away from first pitch. Special celebration here inside the Starship Enterprise. Former skipper of the Marlins, Jim Leyland, threw out tonight's ceremonial first pitch to one of the game's great shortstops, Edgar Renteria, former Brave and former Marlin. Jim Leyland bobblehead night tonight. It's also Star Wars night as the Braves and Fish fight in Game 3 of the series.
Both gentlemen look great. Good to see him here at the ballpark. This is Wei-Yin Chen, 31 years old, 6 feet 200 pounds, out of Taiwan. Started his career with Baltimore and just 2 short years ago went 16-6 for them, 11-8 last year, and then the Marlins signed him to a 5-year, $80 million deal. It hasn't worked out so well. He's 5-4, yes, but a high ERA, and he's been injured with a sore elbow. 90-93 fastball, slider, curve, doesn't walk hardly anyone. He's got a 1.8 walk per 9-inning ratio. That's outstanding.
And the Braves this year 15-29 against left-handed starting pitchers. The lineup for Brian Snitker looks this way. Pretty much the same lineup for Atlanta, with the exception of Anthony Recker, who gets the start behind the plate, and Gordon Beckham in for Jace Peterson and batting 8th. Good times for the Braves. They've won their last 7 in a row. They've won 15 of 23. And Brian Snitker 54-63 since taking over for Freddie Gonzalez in the merry month of May. Remarkable run here in September for the Braves. So Chen's first of the night is over but low. 1 ball, no strikes. Jeff Nelson said that was good enough. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I got another part of the record that is very impressive and where the Braves have come back to, and that's on the road. Braves are just 5 games under 500 on the road for the year, 37-42.
And after tonight, just 1 more road game left. It'll be against these Marlins. Chen can't get it. Slow roller. Gordon with a bare hand puts that in his back pocket. Infield hit for Ender Inciarte, his 95th hit since the All-Star break.
Rolled over it, but he rolled over it just right. With a left-hander, that's a tough play to get off the mound and knock down. Good start to the night.
Third hit of the series for Ender, and that brings up Adonis Garcia. What a big hit he provided the Braves with 2 outs in the 9th inning last night. He brought home Emilio Bonifacio with a game-winning run. But that's only part of the story for Adonis. He had 3 more hits in the game. His third 3-hit game in the last 6 he's played.
Now that's 12 on the year for him with at least 3.
One ball, no strikes. Ender has a good lead at first. The pitch is scorched into the seats right side, foul.
I like some of these other clutch numbers I saw in the Braves notes tonight about Adonis. Last night, that was the 18th go-ahead RBI for him and the 9th game-winning RBI for him. Very impressive.
Well, this lineup is flowing so well, 1 through 8. Everybody's getting a chance to contribute. Garcia's been driving in Inciarte and guys like Swanson and Beckham and Jace Peterson. Freeman and Kemp and Markakis have been batting with runners on base and in scoring position pretty much for the last 6 weeks. And Chen not sure, so he'll step off. And if the seats foul again, it's 2-2. And it's time for our Academy Sports Leaderboard.
How about this, folks? In the National League, the most wins in their last at bat. Braves tied with the Giants and Dodgers. Very impressive. Emilio Bonifacio part of that last night.
Foul again, still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ender's running, got a good jump and a ground ball toward third. Dietrich, nice play. Throws to first in time and robs Garcia of a hit. Martin Prado's got the night off for the Fish, and Dietrich made a nice play to his left. 1 out.
Yeah, Dietrich a lot more at home at second base, but that's a gem right there. With Ender running, he probably would have wound up on third.
So here's Freddie Freeman. There may not be a man alive hotter than he in the batter's box right now. Freddie enters play tonight with 43 straight games reaching base and a 27 game hitting streak.
He's had some good luck against Chen this year too. 3 for 7 against him.
Echeverria playing almost right behind Ender Inciarte as Freddie fouls that one off the screen. 2 balls and a strike.
It's going to be a busy ballpark next year. They're going to have some of the World Baseball Classic games played here next spring during spring training, and they're also hosting the All-Star game.
Nice looking logo. Lifted to the left side. That's curling toward the stands and foul. And 2-2. Marlins enter play tonight at 76 and 78. With each passing loss, their playoff hopes become more and more distant. They're 5 games out of the wild card. As this one's hit up the middle by Freddie Freeman. Inciarte around third is going to score without a throw. Freddie Freeman has another hit and another RBI. It's 1-0 Braves here in the first.
It's almost as if every time Ender gets on, one of the guys comes up behind him to drive him in. It doesn't matter what inning it is. It's just if he's on base, he's going to score a run.
'28-game hitting streak, 44-game on-base streak for Freeman. And now Matt Kemp will be the hitter. We'll see if Matt can stick around for all 9 innings tonight. He had an early birthday exit. Kemp and Brian Snitker ejected in the 3rd inning last night. And a strike evens the count.
Talking to Gordon Beckham today. He was sitting next to Matt when all that went down. He said he didn't hear anything come out of his mouth that was abusive or, wasn't any cussing or anything involved.
Yeah, Adam Hamari was the home plate umpire, and Markakis was really frustrated at a 3-1 pitch that clearly looked to be up and out of the strike zone, but was called a strike with the bases loaded and the Braves down a run. Nick later popped out, and while the ball was in play, Hamari heard something and threw out Matt Kemp. And that's a swinging strike. 2-2 your count. If you missed the series opener, you missed a great performance from Kemp. He hit 2 homers. His first multi-homer game as a Brave. And he didn't get that fastball. Chen struck him out. Freeman at first, 2 away now for Nick Markakis.
This is the second start back for Chen from the DL. He made a start against the Nationals 5 days ago. Pitched into the 5th inning. He was on a pretty strict pitch count and did okay. 4 innings, 4+ innings, 4 hits and 3 runs, but didn't walk anyone. Struck out 3.
So his former Orioles teammate Nick Markakis digs in, and Nick takes a strike. Nick's 1 for 8 in the series, but enters play with 87 runs batted in. Back to the mound, and Chen fielded his position well, and that will retire the side. Braves cash in an infield single and a Freddie Freeman hit. It's 1-0 for Aaron Blair heading to the home first. Lack of run support several times this season. He's got a first inning run to play with tonight against the Marlins.
Yeah, in fact, take a look at this. The Braves have scored 1 run or less while he's been in the game in 9 of his 13 starts. So while his record took him a while to get that first win, not all of it was his fault. He had a little trouble getting some runs on the board on his behalf. His 4 keys to pitching success today. Good change. He needs a good change up tonight. Keep that working. He had a good one in New York. These guys seem to have trouble with that pitch. And motion detector, his adjustments and his windup really paid off in New York.
He pitched a great game against the Mets. And Noah Syndergaard. As Dee Gordon leads off for the Marlins. Gordon just 2 hits in his last 16 at bats and a .253 overall average.
That change in his windup was just one where when he picks up his left leg, he doesn't pivot. He doesn't turn his hips and shoulders where you can see the number on his back. Just kind of a straight up leg kick.
And it sure worked for him in the early innings in New York.
If you think about the plane of the pitching rubber, he doesn't let that leg cross back over the pitching rubber.
Against the Mets, Blair struck out Jose Reyes to start the game, issued a walk to Asdrubal Carrera, then set down 10 consecutive New York hitters. Braves gave him a 4-0 lead. But he walks the leadoff man, and walks have been a problem in the opening inning for Aaron. Fast man aboard in Dee Gordon, and Marcell Ozuna the next hitter. The Marlins as a club have really staggered to the finish. They have lost 19 of their last 30 games. In fact, on this homestand, they've scored 13 runs in their last 5 games. This lineup has, that is. Ozuna's been one of their more productive hitters, however, 5 for his last 18, including 3 hits in this series. Gordon's running, first move, Recker's throw, no chance. Gordon stole that easily, his 24th of the year.
Easy jump there for Dee Gordon.
So an RBI chance for Ozuna, who's driven home 11 of them against the Braves. 73 in total. And that caught a corner.
We didn't see the top end of his velocity in New York. I don't think he threw a pitch to 94. He was mostly 91, 92, maybe 1 or 2 93s. But what he lost in velocity, he gained in command.
There's a good pitch.
And that was a change up and a beaut.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball well hit toward left, but Kemp is there, and Matt makes the play. Gordon fakes a tag, won't advance, and Ozuna flies out for the first out here in the opening inning.
Matt Kemp still has a pretty good arm, and as much as Ender Inciarte Feels like he's got to take everything that's hit out to the outfield in any direction. Matt was not going to back off that. He was camped under it. He was in a good position to throw.
Derek Dietrich is the batter, hitting .287, 40 RBIs. I have to say this guy is one of the MVPs of the season for Miami. With the suspension of Dee Gordon, Dietrich filled in very capably for Don Mattingly's club. Tonight he's playing third base for Martin Prado. And he's already made a nice defensive play. Ball one. .37 at bats for Derek against Atlanta pitching. He's got 13 hits. That's a .351 average. Ripped foul past Perry Hill, the Miami first base coach, and it's an even count.
Dietrich struggles against lefties. He's strictly a left-handed hitter. He's .213 average, but against right-handers, .303. All 6 of his home runs, 34 RBIs.
Blair ready with a 1-1 pitch, and it's line foul. Dietrich now has an even count.
That was a changeup that got away from him. Nice job by Recker to haul it in.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Dee Gordon reached on a walk, promptly stole second. Ozuna flied out. Now Derek Dietrich awaits a payoff. And it's Q just foul at third base.
The lefty-righty splits for Aaron Blair. High batting average for lefties at .317. Home runs are split evenly, but that batting average against lefties ought to get better and better with more experience because of that changeup and the confidence he will gain in throwing it to them.
Aaron's about to make his 17th pitch. And this one's hammered down the right field line. Did he keep it fair? Yes, he did. Gordon's going to score. Dietrich in at second base. And I think that ball should be a home run. It looked like it cleared the fence. The umpires are going to talk over with Perry Hill, make sure they have the ground rules in order. Doug Eddings was the man that made no home run call. But a line drive to right. It was definitely fair.
That would appear to be a home run.
It is. So the Braves killer Derek Dietrich has just hit his 7th home run, his 3rd against the Braves, and that shot gives Miami a 1-run lead.
Yeah, at the knees down the middle, raked it. And just inside the foul pole.
So Miami leads 2-1. And here's Christian Yelich. 13 home runs allowed by Aaron Blair now in 61 major league innings. Christian Yelich 3 for his last 17 and without a hit in this series. A cue shot. Blair with a bare hand fires to first, and Freeman with a stretch makes the play. 2 outs.
Nice play. Good thing he barehanded it. Braves fell behind 2-0 last night, you might remember, in the first inning, able to fight back once Matt Wisler kind of got his bearings and got things squared away. Took him a couple of innings. So at least the Braves already have a run on the board. It's just a 2-1 game, 2-1 deficit for Aaron Blair. Hold him right there.
And Giancarlo Stanton is the hitter. Braves have had Giancarlo Stanton's number all year. He has 4 hits in 39 at-bats against the Braves this year.
Two outstanding changeups.
And 16 strikeouts in those 39 at-bats. I sure as heck wouldn't throw him a fastball either.
You can try upstairs. You can come upstairs out of the zone and get him to chase if you want to throw a fastball.
Flying ball well hit toward right, but that's going to be playable for Nick Markakis. And Stanton and the Marlins are finished in the first. Derek Dietrich hit a 2-run homer down the right field line. After 1, Miami leads for the first time. Turns the game around on Aaron Blair. But the way the Braves are scoring runs, a 1-run deficit early should not trouble Brian Snitker at this point.
Well, it's been very comfortable for Brian because his team's averaging over 5 runs a game and his starter's ERA is right at 3. So that, coupled with the bullpen's good work, has made for a very good week for Brian Snitker and the staff.
Braves have won 7 straight games and enter play tonight with 63 wins, meaning no chance for Atlanta to lose 100 games this season. That was a big goal.
Not no way, not no how.
There you go. As Anthony Recker leads off the second. Takes high, ball 1. Recker hit a home run off Bartolo Colon on the road trip. He's hitting .284. In 30 games with the Braves, he's done a nice job behind the plate.
I've been very impressed. Got the big hit off of Colon the other day up in New York. Is that Wednesday?
Wednesday night.
Home run.
Two-run homer made it a 3-2 Mets game. Braves tied it in the 8th, won it in the 9th. Two balls and a strike. That one's headed for the gap in left center field. That's going to roll to the wall. Recker just reached out, popped that ball into the gap, and he has a leadoff double to start the Braves' second. His 8th double of the year.
We had a good vantage point from up here on that one. That was duck hooked. If you play golf and you hook one off the tee box, that's the way that one took off from the tee box and away from Christian Yelich. Smoked it. I wonder why they call it duck. Duck hook.
Maybe because the gallery had to.
Oh, good point. I was thinking of an animal.
Well,
a bird. Okay.
That could have been it too.
I like yours.
That's into the seats foul. Strike 1 for Dansby Swanson, who's batting .302 for the year. He's had a good road trip. Dansby's got 6 hits in 16 at bats. Good pitcher's pitch makes it 0-2.
Yeah, good pitch and tough to inside out that one and get the guy to third.
In baseball terms, Dansby Swanson has played 1 calendar month of baseball, 31 games, .302 average, 2 homers, 14 RBIs, .350 on base percentage. He scored 14 runs in those 31 games, 9 walks.
Very solid.
Something John Coppola was talking about with us. The Braves laundry list or shopping list in this offseason. A couple of areas where some of those items have been checked off. They wanted Dansby up here in September to see if he could handle being an everyday shortstop in the major leagues. I would assume that the answer to that has been proven to be yes.
I think so.
So that's one item they won't have to worry about trying to address before spring training next year.
Of course, they didn't know if he could play shortstop up here, but the general consensus was that he could. They just didn't want to go to spring training and have everything be new to him at that point. They wanted to get some of that newness, the anxiety, the nervousness out of the way so he could start the season ready to go.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The other big shopping item was right-handed power. I think they've solved that quite capably with Matt Kemp. So let's see if Dansby can punch one through the right side and at the very least get Recker to third base. Maybe bring him home and tie the game. He took a shot to right. Stanton on the run near the line. There's the grab. Recker's going to tag. Stanton's got a cannon. His throw to third is going to be short hopped and played off the chest of Derek Dietrich. So a productive out for Dansby Swanson. He hit it to the right side, and Recker is 90 feet away with one out.
Hey, that was outstanding. That's a little bit like Inciarte challenging Cespedes the other night on that shallow sacrifice fly. And Stanton got himself in a good position to throw here. He circled behind it. Bad footwork, but still got off a good throw that was accurate. And Recker just beat it. Nice job.
So the infield creeps in for Miami with Gordon Beckham up there. And he takes ball one. Gordon's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
And well, he should be. His last 13 against the Fish. Good numbers, including a 2-for-3 night here Thursday night with a double. He's seen Chen a lot in the American League. 4-for-13 against him.
High fly ball toward left. Ozuna drifts over. That's going to be deep enough to bring home Recker. The Braves manufacture the game tying run. A sacrifice fly makes it 2-2.
Nicely done by all concerned. Terrific leadoff double. Good hustle by Recker on the shallow fly to right on the good effort by Swanson. Gordon brought him in. You know, Tyler Flowers was talking last night with Paul Byrd about how I don't think he used the word contagious, but the teamwork that's been involved and how everybody's contributing. And that seems to be the case every night. It might be somebody different every night.
Sure was last night. Total team effort. Bonifacio with a big hit. Garcia the game-winning RBI. Brandon Caniff got the win in relief. Flowers threw out a runner in the ninth inning. That was fun to watch, and it has been all week long. 2 quick strikes for Blair, and he's retired to end the top of the second inning. The Braves cash in Anthony Recker's leadoff double on a Beckham sac fly. 2-2 game. baseball, the Tigers, Jays, and Rangers, tonight's featured subjects.
And the Tigers lost a horrible game today. They gave up 5 runs in the 9th. K-Rod got touched up, so they got beat, put a dent in their hopes. They have a tough schedule remaining, including 3 with the Bravos. Toronto's won 6 of their last 9. They've got a tough schedule as well, finishing at Boston. And Texas clinched the AL West last night. They've got a great record at home, and they are battling Cleveland for the best American League record. Outstanding team, the Texas Rangers. Watch out for them. Might think about a Texas Ranger Chicago Cub World Series, perhaps.
So Aaron Blair's back to a tie. He's got Justin Bour leading off the second. Hopefully Aaron's first inning troubles are over with as he works the second. Bour 0 for 7 in the series, batting .248 for the year.
Oh. Good pitch. Can't believe he didn't offer. We don't have a next door neighbor tonight.
No.
Marlins telecast originating from out there in left field.
Swinging bunt, that's foul. We know Rich and Preston Wilson have been out in left field all the time.
Like they've got Jim Leyland on with them right now.
What a great baseball guy Jim Leyland is.
What a vantage point they've got tonight from way out on that balcony in left field.
Swinging bunt. Recker says he's got it, and he does. Nice comeback for Blair. He gets Bour to roll out. 1 out in the second inning. There's the look. From high above the Marlins Cruz perch in left field.
Think they'll be complaining about balls and strikes tonight? Probably so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the terrific young catcher for the Marlins, JT Realmuto. This guy's hitting .306. 11 home runs is a career high for him. And they've had some good catchers here. Charles Johnson, remember him? Bud Rodriguez caught here for a while. I think Benito Santiago caught here.
Yeah, that's pretty good lineage.
This guy may be on his way to being a big league star. And the Braves have had trouble getting him out. One ball, 2 strikes, bases empty, 2-2 game.
Already better stuff this inning. Getting ahead of the hitters. He got Bour with an excellent sinking fastball.
That's pulled to third. Adonis had him played perfectly and throw in plenty of time. 4 straight retired after the Dietrich homer. And here's Echeverria with 2 outs. Disappointing year for Echeverria at the plate, especially a .234 mark. 3 homers, 35 knocked in. And a .281 on base percentage. He's in his 150th game, 487 at bats, 32 walks. Popped up right side. That'll head for the stands. And a real battle for the souvenir going on. Look at that. And a fan from Marietta came away with the souvenir.
And probably gave it to a young child.
That's stroked into left center field. Enciarte's not getting that. That one's headed for the Bermuda Triangle. Echeverria around second. He's going to try for 3. Dansby's throw is up the line. A sliding triple for Echeverria. He reaches on an 0-2 count.
Well, he's now tied with Freddie Freeman in triples. And he hit it to exactly the deepest spot in the ballpark, right in that little nook out there. Two outs. Pitcher coming up who is 0 for 2016. Should be able to leave that runner at third.
Oh for 41 is Wei-Yin Chen, a native of Taiwan. And that's called a ball.
What was wrong with it? You don't know?
Guess it didn't sound like a strike.
Me either. But he swung at that one to make up for it.
Even count. One and two.
Say this, he's fouled off 2 pitches.
Little pop into shallow left center. And Matt Kemp is there. And that retires the side. Echeverria left 90 feet away. We head to the third. Top of the order for the Braves is due.
Third 2-2 Braves Marlins. Very, very interesting, guys. I'm hanging out with scouts, hearing a lot of things that they're saying. The Atlanta Braves are clicking. What's the difference? Well, 2 to 3 years ago when they were winning, they weren't that fun to watch. This team, very fun to watch, can beat you in many different ways. And they said if this team picks up a pitcher or if a few of the younger pitchers click, sooner than expected, this team will be very, very dangerous. Guys, I got to tell you, with the new stadium coming up and a team that's fun to watch, good things are happening in Atlanta. Back to you, Chip and Joe.
Already trending the right way, Paul.
That's it.
Good things on the horizon, and that horizon's not that far away, not nearly as far away as we thought it might be.
Yeah, and it's not just this week. It's not just the last 2.5, 3 weeks. It's really been the last 3 months. This club's playing around 500 baseball over the last 90 games. Who would have thunk that after a rough start for this 2016 season? And I think that's a great point. You want to build momentum. There is so much excitement building for the Braves with the new ballpark, a new era, as it were, for Braves baseball, and all the youngsters that have been stockpiled in the system. It is going to be a very entertaining offseason, and hard to believe that we'll be talking about spring training in just a few days as we wrap up this 2016 campaign. Infield hit for Inciarte got things started for the Braves. He scored the game's first run on Freddie Freeman's hit. 95 hits for Inciarte now. He's 11 away from Terry Pendleton's club record of 106 hits after the All-Star break. Terry did that in 1991. Foul ball. TP did a nice job last night. Remember, Brian Snitker got thrown out as well. And he managed the club from the third inning on. And a hot shot. Echeverria diving play, scrambles to his feet. No chance to get Inciarte, who has another infield hit.
Can't believe Echeverria made it that close. Really quick to his feet and a quick release. Good start to the inning again.
Inciarte takes over the club lead in infield hits. He's got 13 of them now, 2 tonight. And now Adonis is the batter. Right there, a strike. Braves are 13-8 in September. They were 13-15 in August. Double play ball. There's one. Gordon, the turn. Garcia rolls into a twin killing. 2 outs for Freddie Freeman.
I don't think Echeverria was pleased with his feed on that one. Looked like D. Gordon got his footwork a little messed up because of the timing of it.
Realmuto dropped that, but it was called a strike. We've seen Freddie Freeman go through some hot stretches. I can't remember an extended stretch like this that he's been on. No balls and a strike. And it's not just the number of games in which he has a hit consecutively. It's not the number of times he's been on base. It's that he's barreling just about everything up.
He's certainly got the plate covered. I know that. Not happy about that. There haven't been too many guys in Braves history that have done anything like this. Check this out. Safely in 39 of 40 games, Tommy Holmes hit in 41 of 42 back in 1945. So we haven't seen the likes of this in a long time. 371 average during the streak. 7th most extra base hits in Braves history.
And as poorly as Freddie started, and he would be the first to tell you, his first 6 weeks of the season, he was miserable at the plate. Played with a cracked rib for a while. For him to rebound and put up these kinds of numbers is really, really remarkable. As that one is cut on and missed. Freeman's down on strikes, and the Braves are retired by Chen. 2-2 game. Top of the Miami order coming up next. With you from Miami, Paul Bird with us as well. It's 2-2 game. Dee Gordon, Marcell Ozuna, and Derek Dietrich are coming up against Aaron Blair. This was the trio that gave him some first inning trouble.
All because of a 4-pitch walk to Dee Gordon.
Who still hasn't seen a strike. 1 ball, no strikes for Dee. That one in there for an even count. Really a shame that Dee Gordon got nailed with the 80-game suspension for performance-enhancing drugs. He had an electric season last year for Miami. And he puts this one in play and singles to left. Gordon did that a lot last season when he led all of Major League Baseball in hits.
Can I inject a semantic correction there?
Sure.
It's not a shame he got caught. It's a shame he wasn't smart enough not to use it.
You're right. What I meant to say, really, it's a shame for the Marlins that a player as good as he had to suffer the consequences of a bad decision. Because he is an electric player.
He is a very good player. He didn't need to do that.
And so now you have to wonder for Dee Gordon, who has a long-term contract, how much of what he did last year is a result of taking the PEDs, and what kind of a player will he be going forward with Miami?
Yeah, I don't feel sorry for the fact that he got caught.
I don't either. And thank you for the semantic correction. You're right. Because when he went out, that was a huge loss for this Miami team. Spark plug at the top of the order, much like Ender Inciarte, offensively speaking. That meant Dietrich had to fill in and play a lot more perhaps than Don Mattingly wanted. And then Stanton got hurt. Bohr got hurt. It's really been a jigsaw puzzle and balancing act for Don Mattingly all year long. Ozuna flying out his first time. He and Giancarlo Stanton tied with 73 RBIs. In the lineup tonight, Stanton lurking 5th on the lineup card. Yelich with 95 RBIs is their cleanup man. Gordon's running, got a great jump. Bouncing ball to third, only one play, and it's to first. And Ozuna rolls out for the first out of the inning.
Huge jump, slow move to the plate by Blair, but he got the ground ball, so that helped.
And Dietrich, the batter, he hit a home run right down the right field line, just above the yellow line. At first, he was not called a homer,
but later corrected.
So number 7 for Dietrich. That gave the Marlins their second run. Gordon's going to try to steal third. Recker's throw is on the money and not in time. Recker thinks the Braves might want to check this one. He threw a laser to third base. Gordon called safe. We'll have to take another look.
He did make a real strong, quick throw. It wasn't low, though. It was about belt high, back shoulder high. He appears to be safe to me.
So no appeal. Gordon steals his second bag of the game. And now an RBI chance for Dietrich. Infield comes in. 1 out, 1 ball, no strikes. Check swing roller. There's a gift. 2 balls and a strike. Texas won today. They beat Oakland big 5-0. Yu Darvish picked up the victory for the Rangers. Toronto beat the Yankees 3-0. Jason Grilli got the win. He's got 7 wins with Toronto this year out of their bullpen. Line butt slicing. 2-2. Baltimore hanging tough in the playoff chase. They're home with Arizona, leading 3-0 at Camden Yards. That one's in the 4th. Dietrich just got hit by a pitch. That's been a specialty.
Yeah, it's 25 or 6, isn't it?
See, it's 24. 24 of the 54 for the Marlins club.
He's right up on top of the plate. Back foot slider. And he just kind of kneeled into it.
Dietrich was joking about that in the Miami newspapers during this series. He said, well, with 23, I think that just about sews up the hit by pitch title. He's got a 4-bruise lead over Danny Espinosa of Washington.
That's great.
So here's Yelich, first and third, 1 out.
It's another ground ball here. Either with that changeup or the sinker.
Got that one called, 2-1.
High changeup. Fortunate that wasn't swung on. There must be something on the Braves scouting report about the way Yelich has adjusted, because they're not giving him anything in off the plate. They're not even keeping him honest in off the plate. Last night Whistler did not. So far tonight neither has Blair. Now we know Yelich has been pulling the ball more.
And he'll take a walk to load the bases for Giancarlo Stanton. So a bunch deep counts for Aaron Blair tonight. He's up to 56 pitches. And now he's got real trouble with Stanton up. Bases loaded, 1 away.
Yeah, dangerous spot. He frustrated him last time up with a couple of change-ups and then got him to fly out on a fastball. Thought he might be able to sneak the fastball by him, and he hit it to deep right center.
Stanton with 5 career grand slams. Playing with a groin problem. If you can get the ball on the ground, you might get a double play. And he's had trouble with that sweeping breaking ball already tonight.
Right where Anthony Recker wanted it. Good pitch. Something to make him mindful of the inner third.
Stanton's modified his batting helmet. Early in the season, he had the looked like a football face mask style protective device in front of his face. That one looks like the one that Dansby Swanson wears. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Two fastballs in, slider away.
Joel De La Cruz has begun to loosen up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And now he's got to throw Stanton a strike.
How aggressive will Stanton be?
We're about to find out. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Little tapper. Blair can't get it. Adonis did. The throw to first is in time. That will score D. Gordon. Miami takes a 3-2 lead on a roller off the bat of Giancarlo Stanton, his 74th RBI.
Outstanding play there by Adonis Garcia just to get an out. Chased. Fastball, then another good fastball right there on the lower inside corner. Good stop by Recker. And then something off speed, looked like a changeup. And Garcia got an out for him, and that helped.
The Braves will walk Bohr and get after JT Realmuto. Again, they'll load the bases. 3rd walk of the night, first intentional. So it's Blair versus Realmuto. And first visit from Roger McDowell. Realmuto 2 out of 12 this year with the bases loaded. But a .284 hitter overall with runners in scoring position. So dangerous man in a dangerous spot.
He was chasing a little bit though his first time up. He chased a bad breaking ball that was sweeping away from him. And eventually with the Braves with a shift on for him, he hit a ball near the 3rd base line, but right at Garcia. It's pretty obvious what he's trying to do.
You can live with one. Let's see if Blair can retire Realmuto. 3-2 Miami. Aaron will continue to stretch. Hot shot. Dansby knocked it down. Throw to second. What a play.
Big league play, folks.
He saved 2 runs with a diving smash. And Beckham stretches out to rob Realmuto and the Marlins, who take a 3rd inning lead. In the major leagues, this was a big league play that saved at least one Miami run.
And again, playing a little bit over in the hole because Real Muto wants to pull the ball. Great stab. Now Gordon Beckham's got to become a first baseman. He came across the bag there, stretches for the ball just like a first baseman would to make sure they get the out. I tell you, what a good resource for Dansby Swanson right there to his left to bounce things off of and talk to about playing shortstop in the big leagues.
It's like Forrest Gump, those two. They're peas and carrots. I mean, they locker next to each other on the road, and look where they're sitting on the Braves bench. Ground ball by Kemp. Now Echeverria, long throw and a pretty play right on the money. So two excellent plays by the opposing shortstops in back-to-back sequences. One out in the Atlanta fourth.
The thing about Dansby's good play, naturally it saved an immediate run and maybe two, but it also ended what could have been a very big inning for them.
Yeah, you can live with one run there, but maybe not three or four. And Blair lives to tell the tale. Here's Markakis. A strike. Wei-Yin Chen now has a 3-2 lead. His second start, as Joe mentioned, since coming back from his arm issues. He pitched 4 1/3 innings last time out against Washington. When you look at this guy's pedigree and the numbers he put up with the Orioles, 5 years and $80 million sounds like a heck of a bargain in today's starting pitching pricing market.
Well, he was very much under the radar 2 years ago with 16 wins.
16-6, a 354 earned run average with the Orioles, 31 starts, only 35 walks in 185 2/3 innings that year. And he just plunked Nick Markakis with a full count pitch. So Nick's aboard with a hit by pitch. 1 on 1 out.
He's the third batter he's hit also.
Let's make him pay for that. Anthony Recker hit a gapper and scored the second Braves run. That was in inning number 2. I think when the season story is told for Miami, pitching again was the main culprit for them. Once you got past Jose Fernandez, it really was a flip of the coin a lot of the time for the Miami club.
Well, we're going to see one of their guys tomorrow, and it's not Jose Fernandez. They've scratched him, and they're going to hold him pitch against the Mets for some reason. That kid Conley, like him a lot.
High fly ball. That's a rafter rattler, but no trouble for Christian Yelich. Recker can't believe he missed that pitch. Got under it and popped out. 2 away.
I know every game's important to the Marlins at this point, especially when they've lost 3 in a row. But the game tomorrow against the Atlanta Braves counts just as much in the standings as the one Monday against the Mets head-to-head.
Foul by Dansby.
I get it that, you know, you gain a full game on one of the teams ahead of you. I understand that, but you still got to win. And you got to win them all. And you ought to worry about Monday on Monday, in my opinion.
0-1. High fly toward left. Ozuna's going to have room, and he makes the play. No runs. A man left for Atlanta in the fourth. 8-9-1 coming up for the Fish. They lead 3-2. The regular season will come to a close, and there's some big-time races and some races within the races, quite frankly, as you look at the playoff picture in the National League.
St. Louis pounded the Cubs today, so they got the game back that they lost yesterday. San Francisco yet to play, and the Mets are getting pounded tonight. They gave up 5 in the first to the Phillies. Sean Gilmartin came out of the bullpen to start that game for the Mets, and he didn't get out of the first inning. Pittsburgh still hanging around, but I don't know. Might be running out of games for the Pirates.
And the other race is the Nationals and Dodgers. The Nationals have the second best record, but the Dodgers are closing fast. And that would dramatically change things for the Nationals, who would love to have home field advantage in their first round playoff series. We'll see if that continues.
They'd also love to have Daniel Murphy back.
He has been sidelined with what was called a buttocks strain. Echeverria tries to bunt, pops it over the screen foul. It's an even count.
Speaking of Forrest Gump.
Yes, that's right.
$1 million injury, but I haven't seen a nickel of that money.
(3-2) Miami with Echeverria leading off. He's the 8th place hitter. He tripled and was stranded. His lone time up. And high from Aaron Blair. 2 balls and a strike.
Got to get the ball down. He so far he's held him to 3 runs, but he's had to work hard. A couple of walks and then another intentional pass, so he avoided the big inning last inning, but got to get that ball down. Can't live at the top of the zone. There you go.
Just missed for a full count. Little looper into shallow right. That's going to drop in front of Nick Markakis. And Echeverria, who had 1 hit in his previous 14 at bats, is 2 for 2 tonight.
Yeah, the other one was a 2-out triple. This one's a leadoff single, and it was a good pitch by Aaron, but spoiled. Fastball might not have even been a strike. Even though he doesn't have a hit in his career, Chen does have some sacrifice bunts. But he's going to come out of the game here.
Miami goes to the bench with Destin Hood. Wow, interesting. Chen would have had the bottom of the order coming up for the Braves in the 5th inning, but he only works 4 frames, so he can't qualify for the win.
How many pitches did he throw? Because he only went 4 1/3 last time out.
We're told he threw just 62 pitches.
Well, that must have been somewhere in the neighborhood of the limit because of his elbow problems.
Hood was a Pacific Coast League All-Star for New Orleans. Hit .267, 15 homers, 80 RBIs. And he hits this one sharply. Dansby couldn't get that one. And Miami has back-to-back hits. So real trouble afoot now. 2 on, nobody out. As Miami tries to extend the lead, top of the order coming up. Hood's from Braves country. He's from Mobile, 26 years old. And after starting his professional career in the Nationals organization in 2008, this is his first big league experience this year. Gordon strokes one into center field, a base hit. Echeverria on his way to third, got a late stop sign. And Recker with a body block knocks it down up the third base line. So that one almost took Aaron Blair with it into center field. A rope off the bat of Dee Gordon, and 3 straight hits for Miami. Has him loaded with nobody out.
Yeah, that was a close one. Another pitch that was up, and Dee Gordon having a good night. 2 singles and a walk. You're getting part of the lineup now where you better not leave that pitch up or it'll go a long way. And they're loaded again.
For Marcell Ozuna, who's 0 for 2.
Aaron did not have a double play turn behind him in New York his last outing in 6 innings. None tonight, but he could sure use one here. He's only had 4 turn for him in his 63 innings this year.
Chad Bradley joins Joel De La Cruz in the Braves bullpen. Second time De La Cruz has loosened up. Popped up. Markakis drifts back, makes the catch. Tagging and headed home is Echeverria. He will score. It's a sacrifice fly for Ozuna, his 74th run batted in. And that extends the Marlins lead to 4-2. Hood tagged at second. He's at third base. Gordon held at first. And that's going to be the end of the line for Aaron Blair. So Ozuna drives home the fourth Miami run of the ball game. Aaron Blair will depart after 3 1/3 innings of work. 4-2 Miami in front. Before we get to the new Atlanta relief pitcher, time for a walk in the park. Drew Howard will take us on a tour of SunTrust Park in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia.
For this week's Walk in the Park, I got to take a tour with some familiar faces from the Braves and get their thoughts on their new home. All right, Derek, today was a really special day. We actually took a walk through the ballpark with all of our players. So walk me through what happened today.
Well, we decided that it would be a good opportunity before the end of the season to get all of our players out here. So we had them all come on a bus, walked into the top of the Chop, and they got to see the Chop House, which was their very first time that they could see the field. The really cool thing was they got to walk into the clubhouse, and then they came out through the dugout tunnel and up onto the field. One of the key things we heard is how intimate the ballpark was. You know, I heard Dansby Swanson talking about, man, it's going to be really loud in here when all the fans are in here because everybody's so close to the field.
Well, that's all for this visit at SunTrust Park. To find out more about the new home of the Braves, go to braves.com/SunTrustPark.
All right, Bradley's going to come on in relief of Aaron Blair as the Marlins have a big fourth inning brewing.
Sixth game for Jed Bradley. 6 1/3 innings, 6 walks. Can't afford those here. He's got to throw some strikes, but he hasn't been out there in a while, so we'll see how sharp he is. Brought in to face Dietrich, the left-handed hitter. His last game was on the 16th, 8 days ago.
So Aaron Blair's given up 4 runs so far. 6 Miami hits. He walked 3 batters and did not strike anybody out. So let's see how Bradley fares with Derek Dietrich, a left-hand hitter, coming up. Dietrich hit a first inning homer and he's been hit by a pitch.
Careful on the first pitch. Again, he doesn't hit lefties that well, so he'll try to ambush something if you leave it over the plate.
Runner at first goes. Recker's throw goes through. It's going to be late. Dee Gordon has his 3rd stolen base of the night.
Went on his first move. Bradley was pitching for 3 different minor league teams for the Braves this year. Combined went 9-5, a 3.09 ERA.
Now the infield comes in for Dietrich with 1 out. It's kind of a slurvy breaking ball, but it worked. 1-2. Off Recker's glove and all the way to the backstop. That'll score Hood. Gordon to third base, and the Marlins lead 5-2.
Set up away, the pitch skipped off the plate. That's what happened. Tried to shift over in front of it, couldn't because of the way the ball skipped off home plate.
Infield still in, now a 2-2 count. Broken bat, and Dansby will make the play. Dietrich's retired, 2 away. That bat absolutely exploded. Let's see if somebody fixes the divot out there.
It almost looks like that bat was broken before.
So Yelich, the batter, he's tapped to the mound and walked. 2 runs in for Miami here in the 4th. They lead 5-2. And in for a strike. Lifted down the left field line and curling into the stands. And Yelich behind in the count.
I know this is a spacious ballpark and it sometimes penalizes power hitters, but average hitters ought to love it because there's very little foul territory. I think that's one thing that contributed to Matt Kemp getting thrown out last night, is that he was right in the ear of Adam Hamari. It's not very far away.
Long defensive inning. Sharply hit to Beckham at second. And Bradley puts out the fire. So 2 runs come across for Miami in the 4th. All 5 charged to Aaron Blair. It's 5-2 Fish after 4.
Is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Every night in Miami sometimes looks like a bar scene in a Star Wars movie, doesn't it?
Oh, is this here at the ballpark? I thought it was South Beach. I'm sorry.
See, there we go.
Tom Glavine, Paul Byrd. Looking the part. That does make me laugh.
Gordon Beckham leads off for the Braves. New chunker out there for the Fish.
That's Austin Bryce. He pitched here Thursday night, gave up a hit and a walk, but no runs. Also struck out a batter. As you mentioned at the time, a guy that perhaps could be a guy developing as a closer. Throws hard, has a good slider and curve.
Pitcher spot is due next for the Braves. And Rio Ruiz has grabbed a bat.
Hey, good.
And when he finally steps in the batter's box, he will set a major league record.
Well, no more Moonlight Graham for him.
That's exactly right. Sharply hit to Gordon. He's got it. And there's the first out. This is the longest time between one's announcement as a pinch hitter and actually stepping in the batter's box and getting to swing the bat. Remember, he was the man that was announced in Atlanta when the rains came against the Washington Nationals and the game was finally postponed in the Braves' favor. So here he is, first big league time in the batter's box for Real against Miami.
You know, his folks are watching. They had flown to Atlanta to watch him break in, but that got rain delayed. 271 at Gwinnett, 10 homers. Drove in 62 runs, hit 24 doubles. Big thrill for him. And it's not just a thrill for him. It's a thrill for anybody who coached him, who threw batting practice to him, who watched him grow up. To see this, it's a wonderful thing.
0-2 the count. And he pops it up. Who wants it? It'll be Derek Dietrich. And Rio Ruiz is officially in the baseball encyclopedia. He pops out and is the second out in the Braves' fifth. That was a terrific move by Brian Snitker, by the way. You know, that kid's been sitting on the bench waiting patiently, biding his time, hoping to get into a big league game again. And tonight that dream became reality. Can't wait to talk to him about what that experience was like after game 3 tonight. Bouncing ball up the middle. Inciarte has another hit. A 3-hit game for Ender.
Yeah, we're only in the 5th. Like a little bit of a funny swing too. Been able to get it by Bryce. No, not so funny after all. Bryce mad that he didn't square up and field his position.
And as we said, Ender has more hits than any other hitter since the All-Star break. 97 now. And here's Garcia.
Well disguised breaking ball there from that low 3/4 arm slot.
No balls, 2 strikes. And Adonis fought that off and is still alive. Kind of hope that young Mr. Bryce is looking over in that on deck circle and thinking about, uh-oh, if I don't get Garcia, I've got to face Freddie Freeman, who would represent the tying run.
Yeah, and makes a better pitch than he would like to Adonis.
And a swing and a miss. Garcia chased one up and out of the strike zone. And that ends the Atlanta 5th. 3 hits for Ender Inciarte, but it's a 3-run Miami lead.
I think that's a very strong possibility. I think also it's a situation where Detroit can't come to town kind of setting up their rotation for any potential play-in or tiebreaker type games. So they're going to have to go with their regular rotation and hope for the best and hope they get a little help as well.
And as you see in the wild card race, there are 5 teams still fighting for 2 spots.
Yeah.
That could be a gigantic playoff mess the final weekend as well. But that makes for a lot of excitement as Joel De La Cruz checks in to face Giancarlo Stanton here in the 5th.
And Joel, since he is not in the rotation anymore, he's been used primarily as a long man, and as a result, with all the good work of the Braves lately, he hasn't pitched in 10 days. He's got to be a little rusty, and it was against Miami at home on the 14th.
A quick first strike to Stanton, who breaks his bat. Line drive caught by Beckham. A diving stop in shallow center field by the Braves second baseman. And I hope everybody's okay in the Marlins dugout, because the barrel of that bat went whistling into the dugout. Everybody ducked for cover.
First of all, great play by Gordon. Good reactions. Timed his jump perfectly. Fully extended. Good play.
One out for Bohr, who's bounced out and walked. And a quick strike to the Miami first baseman. Lifted toward left. And Matt Kemp is there. Bohr's retired. 2 out. Keep an eye on the Seattle Mariners too. They're only 2 games out of that AL wildcard race. Didn't mention Seattle. They, however, are in Minnesota, and the Twins are beating them tonight, 3-2. Minnesota tried to desperately avoid 100 losses. They start play tonight at 55-99.
And the Mariners and Twins play again tomorrow, and then Seattle goes to Houston, who's also vying for a wild card spot.
The Astros are beating the Angels at home 2-1. A strike to Real Muto.
Getting some strike ones in there for Joel. That's a good sign. Not just for him, but for the team.
Joel, one of 16 different men to start a game for the Braves this year, a new franchise record for a single season. This ball's hammered towards center. Inciarte on a sprint, still going back. That ball is going to bounce off the base of the wall. And Real Muto with an easy double that comes with 2 outs. His first hit of the night and his 31st 2-base hit.
Tell you what, he's got some power too. Driving this ball to deep right center in this ballpark where Inciarte can't run it down. That's hit pretty well. And remember, he's the guy that robbed Dansby back in the 3rd inning of an RBI hit.
Echeverria's got 2 hits and a run scored tonight. Five runs on 7 hits for Miami, 2 runs on 5 hits for the Braves. Got to hold them here and hope the Braves bats can go to work in the 6th. Strike 1. Good result with that pitch. Echeverria didn't get it. 1-2 the count.
Well, when he's got a good changeup working, it is really effective because of all that motion you get and how he steps way to the left of the center line to home plate. You buy into the motion, the changeup just doesn't get there.
Good fastball, and Echeverria swung late, and that'll end the Miami 5th inning. 5-2. Marlins in front in Game 3. For our Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light.
The record since August 30th. Braves right in there, 15-8. Only the Red Sox and Indians are headed to postseason, and division titles have a better record. Dodgers and Mets tied with the Braves. The Braves have had to use 9 starters over that stretch. That's the most in Major League Baseball.
But still a terrific run for Atlanta, as Hunter Cervenka, the former Brave, is going to check in and pitch the 6th. He's out there because Freeman and Markakis are coming up for the Braves, who trail by a 5-2 count.
Can't believe Mike Dunn's not coming in with Freddie up.
Well, we've got 4 innings left.
Okay.
Swing and a fly ball hit deep toward right. Stanton is back. That ball is gone into the Miami bullpen.
What a boy can hit. I know he's from Orange County. That's Southern California, but I'm still calling that old boy because he can hit. Ambushing Cervenka on the first pitch. Fastball. Gone. Number 32.
2 RBI night for Freddie, and the Braves pulled to within 2 runs. It's 5-3. The way this team's scoring runs, a 3-run deficit shouldn't bother you. Freddie Freeman ties Tommy Holmes now for most extra base hits in a single season. Henry Aaron, in his 61 year, is next up.
I mean, look at some of those years. Hugh Duffy, 1894, is within striking distance. Whew. And so much of this damage, like you said a few minutes ago, has just been done in the last 2/3 of the season. The first third was kind of a just kind of a wasted part of the year. Not wasted, but let's just say unused.
Yeah, I mean, we said at the time, and we said it starting in spring training, fairly or not, that if Freddie Freeman hits, then the Braves have a chance to be in every game. And Freddie would tell you he didn't hit. He really struggled out of the gate, as did the Braves offense. But that's not the case now. He's just blistering hot as he extends his hitting streak tonight. to 28 games. As this one's looped into left center field, and the lefty matchup of Hunter Cervenka hasn't worked for Don Mattingly. The two left-handed bats, Freeman and Markakis, both have hits. And I think Don Mattingly has seen enough of Hunter Cervenka. He has. So in the 6th inning, the Braves have come back. A long Freddie Freeman homer into the Miami bullpen makes it a 5-3 game. And Don Mattingly is going to make yet another pitching change for the Marlins. Braves are creeping back in the middle innings. We'll see what happens when we come back. Driven by Chevrolet, we bring you the final 6 Braves games at Turner Field from Tuesday through Sunday. Fox Sports South and Fox Sports Southeast. We'll have exclusive coverage of the final games with archival footage, exclusive interviews, and all the excitement from Turner Field. Don't miss this iconic chapter in Braves history. A farewell to the Ted, only on Fox Sports South and Fox Sports Southeast.
28th game for Brian Ellington. Look at that ERA, 1.55. Outstanding numbers. And right-handers got no shot, I guess. 96 to 100 on his fastball. He throws a slider, but why bother?
Out of Gainesville, Florida, is Brian Ellington. And the first pitch by Recker is popped straight back and out of play. Ellington went to Oak Hall High School. As a junior there, tossed 3 no-hitters and was the North Central Florida baseball most valuable player. He has some collegiate experience too. A year at Florida State College in Jacksonville, and then transferred to Division II, the University of West Florida in Pensacola.
Not a comfortable AB for the right-handers.
Anthony was right on that one at 99 miles an hour.
2 good swings at him.
Nothing in 2. Strike 3, paints corner.
No, it didn't. Sorry.
Yep. But at this point, I mean, we have seen that so much.
Well, the problem with it is that this guy's throwing so hard, you can't give him that kind of room out there. If you're battling as a hitter and you give him that, it's like, what's the point? Trying to wait for a pitch over the plate.
So Dansby Swanson hits and had a big cut, didn't get it. Amazing for Ellington with this big arm of his, throwing the upper 90s. You know how many saves he has?
No.
As a professional player, he's pitched in 28 games now with Miami. No saves. 103 games in the minor leagues. No saves.
I'll be darned.
With 3 starts.
Huh.
None. It's kind of hard to believe.
There are a lot of walks in there, career-wise. I mean, is he just now kind of finding himself?
186 innings, 97 walks.
Yeah.
18 hit batsmen. Might explain some of it. But good ERAs. One ball, one strike. 5-3. Miami leads it. Freeman with a homer in this inning. And Dansby shoots it into right field. Boy, his approach is so fun to watch. He just poked a 99-mile-an-hour fastball into right field for his first hit of the night. The Braves have the tying runners aboard with Gordon Beckham up.
99 down the middle. I don't care if he's only been in the big leagues a month. Big league hitters are going to hit that.
Third hit of the inning for the Braves. First of the night for Swanson. Gordon Beckham, the batter. He's got a sac fly and an RBI. And he pops the first pitch up right side. Bohr gives chase, but won't have a play. Strike one for Beckham.
You know how we sometimes say somebody hits a fly ball, oh, well, that'd be a home run, and so and so. That foul ball might have been an out in Oakland.
One ball, one strike. If I remember correctly, in our tour of SunTrust Park, there's not a whole lot of foul ground there either.
No. Fans will be right on top of the action.
1-1 pitch.
Ooh. Where'd that come from? Nice change.
Two on, two out, 1-2 pitch. Fouled away at the plate. That one, triple digits.
Another good at bat for Gordon.
Can the Georgia Bulldog hunker down one more time and bring home a fourth Atlanta run?
If he does, he'll be the first today.
That wasn't very nice. 2-2. It's not to be. Beckham's down on a breaking ball. And 3 strikeouts for 2 Marlins pitchers ends the 6th. But Freddie Freeman led off with a solo home run, his 32nd of the year. The Braves trim the lead to 5-3 after 5.5.
6. 5-3 Marlins. You hear the crowd, Ichiro's up, but I want to talk about somebody else. Guys, I have a confession to make. I did not think the Braves were going to be able to replace Andrelton Simmons. I thought it would be a long time before we could forget about that. Dansby Swanson. I am a believer defensively, offensively, in the locker room with interviews. Big billboard when he drives to the park. He stays humble. Guys, this guy is the real deal, and scouts will tell you how important it is to have a good catcher, a good center fielder, and a good shortstop to shore up that defense. Up the middle, got to be strong. Excellent trade by the Braves. Another reason to get excited. I would like to publicly apologize. Simmons, Dansby Swanson, making me forget. Guys, back to you.
Good call, Birdie. He's playing really well, and maybe the poise with which he's playing since he got called up is the thing that stands out the most to all of us. He's handled it all so well.
Ichiro Suzuki leads off and rolls over the top, and Freddie Freeman with the bag makes the play, and that retires Suzuki. One away, top of the order. Dee Gordon has been on base 3 times tonight. Two singles, a walk, 3 steals, 2 runs for the Miami leadoff man. He did this kind of damage a lot to a lot of teams last season. Mentioned a lot the superlatives for Dee Gordon last year. Batting champion, stolen base leader, hits leader in the league. It's only happened one other time since 1900 in National League play that one player led his league in all those categories. It was the Flying Dutchman. Honus Wagner did it.
Wow. Well, he does have 2 hits, but make him hit his way on again.
That one in for a strike. It's 3-1. That too high. Gordon's aboard again.
I know last night the Dodgers had a wonderful ceremony honoring Vin Scully. There's a guy here who's been at the mic a long time too, and he's the Spanish broadcaster, Spanish language broadcaster for the Marlins, and his name is Felo Ramirez. And I don't know if he's at the mic right now. He may be taking a break. He turned 93. There's Felo. He turned 93 a couple of months ago. He's still at it. Still going on the road. Makes all the trips. Does all the games. He's got 4 years on Vinny.
Pretty amazing.
He has to get up and walk around because he gets so excited. He's got to calm down.
1 on 1 out for Ozuna. And that's off the plate. Quite obviously here in Miami there's a huge Latin American influence with this ball club, with this city, with this franchise. And Felo Ramirez has been here since day 1. In fact, in the early days of the Marlins franchise, they had tremendous plans to truly become Latin America's team. The original idea for the Marlins was to have an international radio and TV network. They were going to beam Marlins games to Central America, South America in Spanish, and Major League Baseball said that may not be a great idea for the rest of Major League Baseball. It would be a huge competitive advantage for the Fish.
Got to say it's a good idea, though.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
And I believe that was the idea of one of the nice people and a great man who's missed dearly here, Carl Barger, who was the first team president and passed away at the winter meetings early in the history of the Marlins franchise. And he is still remembered and missed by many in this part of South Florida. 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, like Vin Scully, Philo Ramirez is in the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown also.
Went to the Hall of Fame in 2001. For 35 years, the play-by-play voice of pro baseball in Puerto Rico, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. Began broadcasting baseball in Havana in 1953.
He's supposed to be a boxing expert also. And he's in the Puerto Rican Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame.
It's called 32 World Series and All-Star Games. Has been the voice of all but 9 Caribbean World Series since 1949. Unbelievable.
93, folks.
Gordon a good lead at first. He's already stolen 3 bags. Miami leads 5-3. Ozuna the batter, 3-1 the count. And De La Cruz back-to-back walks.
Yeah, he was so aggressive in his first inning. Gave up the double, but he got the strikeout of Echeverria. He was getting ahead in the count. Dealing.
So a quick visit from Roger McDowell with Derek Dietrich ready to stand in the left-hand batter's box. Boston won again. They beat Tampa Bay tonight 6-4. Rick Porcello earned his 22nd win for the Red Sox. Craig Kimbrell saved his 30th game for Boston. I believe that is now 10 in a row for the Red Sox and their 91st win. They're trying to finish with a flourish. White Sox are beating Cleveland 4-1 in the 7th. Houston 4-1 over the Angels. Baltimore 6-0 over the Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Scouts are telling me the Red Sox are an offensive juggernaut right now. They are up and down their lineup, kind of like what the Braves are doing. Everybody's contributing. They got a lot of power. They've got some speed. They've got excellent outfield defense. And Big Papi.
What a year he's having in his final major league season. As Dietrich bats and didn't get it. Swinging strike.
How about this on David Ortiz? He's already got more homers and more RBIs than any player in baseball history in their last season.
37 homers, 124 runs batted in.
He broke Dave Kingman's home run record and Shoeless Joe Jackson's RBI record.
0-1.
Now, Shoeless Joe Jackson got a raw deal. He was still in the prime of his career when he got kicked out.
Where do you come down on the DH as a Hall of Famer thing? Because that's really been main position for David Ortiz. He did play some first base as a much younger man.
I think it's going to happen. I think there will be some guys inducted.
No balls, 2 strikes. Frank Thomas is in. That's wonderful honor But if David Ortiz goes in, now the world's Edgar Martinez not in.
Right. Got to look at some Hal McRae numbers too.
Two quick strikes for Dietrich, who hit a first inning home run off Aaron Blair. Blair started the game for the Braves. 5 runs in 3 1/3 worth of work. John Gant is up in the Braves bullpen as De La Cruz is approaching 30 pitches. He's got 1 out in his 2nd inning of work. Skied toward left, pretty deep. Kemp on the run, still going to the track. He makes the catch. Fine running grab by Matt Kemp on a ball that appeared to be slicing away from him and headed for the Atlanta bullpen. So Dietrich's retired for the 2nd out.
Matt Kemp's had an outstanding road trip defensively. He made 3 great catches in New York and makes a very good running catch here on a ball that would have scored 2.
One more man to get. That's Christian Yelich, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. Braves want to get De La Cruz through this inning. His spot's due first in the 7th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another chance for Kemp. Yelich flies to left, and De La Cruz a nice job to pitch out of some 6th inning trouble. Miami strands a pair. 9-1-2 on the lineup card coming up for the Braves in the 7th. Vote for the All-Turner Field team. It's presented by Toyota. Tell us who you think should be the representative club of 20 great years of baseball in downtown Atlanta. Voting continues through Monday, September 26th. Log on to Braves.com/Turner Field team to vote. John Schuerholz and Bobby Cox will join our Braves live crew on Tuesday night to reveal the All-Turner Field team presented by Toyota. Changes for Miami. Ichiro Suzuki stays in the game. He'll play left field. Fernando Rodney is on to pitch. And he will face Mallex Smith, who will bat for De La Cruz as the Braves trail by only 2 runs as we head to the 7th inning.
Hey, ever since I've watched Fernando Rodney pitch, when he first started with the Rays, I think was the first place I saw him. And he had his hat cocked to the side. I thought it was like clown. That's a clown question, dude, you know?
Kind of dig me stuff?
Yeah, I thought, what is he doing? I found out that he wears his hat that way as a tribute to his dad. His dad was a fisherman and wore his hat cocked to the side, depending on where the sun was, to block the sun off his face while he was in the boat, out in the water, fishing, try to bring some food home for the family. That's why he wears his hat that way.
Pretty cool.
So no more snide remarks from yours truly.
Well, how ironic is it that his uniform is to honor his dad, who's a fisherman, and he's pitching for the Marlins.
There you go.
And it has not gone well for Rodney here in South Florida. A 6.15 ERA, 23 runs in 33 innings with 23 walks. And the league hitting over 300 against him in a Marlins uniform. And to the Marlins front office's credit, I mean, they've gone out, they've gone to the trade halls of trade to add guys like Rodney to try to bolster their ball club, and in large part those moves haven't worked.
Well, they got him and they got Cashner.
They got Ray, who blew out and had to be sent back to San Diego. And here he is, 3 balls and a strike to a fast man, Mallex Smith. And he just walked him. Alex wasn't sure, but a leadoff base on balls, and the troubles continue for Rodney. And the fans are none too pleased.
I'm a little confused. Help me out here, okay? I get confused a lot. For the last 2 games, the Marlins have taken Giancarlo Stanton out of the ball game before the end of the game. And in each one of those, they were trailing. Last night, actually, a tie game. Tonight, they're leading, and he's still in the game. And they took out Ozuna.
The only thing I can think is that Ozuna is hitting second, and the lineup card's going to have Stanton leading off the 7th. Maybe they want to get Giancarlo one more at bat.
Okay.
But you're right. They've kind of played the way it was described to us was these are sort of spring training rehab games.
Yeah.
Get him 2 or 3 at bats and then get him out.
I'm sure there's a rhyme and a reason to it. I'm having a hard time figuring it out. But
no chance for Real Muto as Mallex Smith steals second without a throw.
I'll go with you on that, on the fact that Stanton's due up in the bottom of this inning. Boy, I never even checked him.
So the Braves are doing what they have done so often. They are trying to give their opponent a finish. They're down 5-3. They have 9 outs left, and they've got the right guys up at the right time. Inciarte, Garcia, and Freeman are due. Miami's bullpen continues to work. Nicolino and McGowan. Nicolino, the lefty. He's getting ready for Freeman if the lineup gets to him. And Inciarte chased that one, didn't get it. And Rodney has his first strikeout.
That stolen base for Mallex Smith, his 15th of the year. As you see the strikeout again. Change up, that's his out pitch. And that 15th stolen base is only one short of the team lead of 16 held by Inciarte, and yet Mallex missed, what, 2.5 months?
So let's see if Garcia can bring him home. Adonis has an 0-for-3 game. He was robbed of a hit by Dietrich in the first inning. Bouncer up the middle. Gordon had him played well. Mallex is at third base. Now there are 2 outs. And Freeman's coming up. Let's see if Mattingly's coming out. For the moment, the answer is no.
No, he doesn't want to walk him and put the tying run on them at first. They do have a lefty warming up. You're right.
Freeman ambushed Hunter Cervenka last time up for his 32nd home run. A 2-hit, 2 RBI game so far for the Braves first baseman. He's got 87 runs knocked in now. That homer is 82nd extra base hit. The RBI leader this month in the National League. Matt Kemp's on that list too. Upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. Kemp's on deck. Nothing has been close for Freddie Freeman here.
No, you can see that shotgun pattern there. They're trying real hard to avoid any damage. Freddie definitely with a green light here on anything he wants.
That one all the way to the backstop, and it sticks in the netting. A wild pitch brings home Mallex Smith. Freeman walks. Realmuto never got leather on it. The ball hit the screen and then lodged between the screen and the green padding. And it's a 5-4 game now.
I mean, that's a wild pitch for the ages. It hit the screen and dropped behind the padding and in the lap of that fan in the front row.
And Realmuto was looking around like, where'd the ball go?
Where'd it go?
Had no idea. So the Braves cash in a leadoff walk, and just like that, we've got a 1-run game. I don't think I've ever seen a wild pitch like that one before.
I don't either. Must be some opening at the bottom of the screen too, behind the padding.
So here's Matt Kemp. Since August 2nd, he has the most plate appearances with runners in scoring position in Major League Baseball. That's not the scenario here. Point being, though, that Matt has been a gigantic run producer, as you just saw, since putting on a Braves uniform. Maybe he can go into launch mode and put the Braves in front. 5-4. Miami at the moment has the lead. Of his 10 home runs hit with the Braves, 5 have either tied the game or have put the Braves in front, including 4 of the last 6.
Wow. Clutch.
Didn't get that. And it's 1-2. And Kemp didn't get it. And Rodney survives the 7th inning. A leadoff walk, a steal, and a wild pitch brings the Braves to within a run at the stretch. Well, there's only one member in the booth that's cool enough to hang out on Ocean Drive in South Beach, and that's my partner. That's probably his car, by the way.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I hang out, right in there. I like the blue strobe lights, personally.
Well, I like the fact the Braves have pulled to within a run. 5-4, can you believe that? As John Gant takes over here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Giancarlo Stanton will be the first man that greets him. Gant, the 4th Braves pitcher in tonight's game.
It's always good to score a run without benefit of a hit. That was a good half inning. John Gant's last work was 3 days ago against the Mets. An inning, gave up a hit, but zeros otherwise, plus a strikeout. Hold him right there.
Giancarlo Stanton has an RBI. He's 0 for 3, robbed by Gordon Beckham, who made a great diving catch to start the 5th inning. And a breaking ball in for a strike.
Look at that muscle on Giancarlo Stanton's forearm. That one right there. Right there on top. Do I have that muscle?
I don't. You've got a shot.
I don't know if I've ever seen one quite like that.
This guy's muscles have muscles. Big man.
Look at that forearm. Like Brian Jordan.
Grounded the other way by Stanton. And the leadoff single gets the Miami 7th started, and we'll see if he stays in the game. My guess is he won't.
Yeah, Perez, who got thrown out trying to steal last night in the 9th inning, will come on. Jeffrey Perez. So that bit of strategy that you pointed out to me by the Marlins pays off. Gets Stanton one more at bat.
And that means Jeffrey Perez is at first. Justin Bour is getting ready to hit. And Jeff Nelson's writing those changes down on the lineup cards. I got a question for you. With all the extended and expanded rosters, do the umpires have bigger lineup cards than normal to fit all the names on it?
Probably front and back. They probably have rosters that are typed out so they can just scratch them off as they go.
And that's one area where the umpires, one of many areas where the umpires do such a great job. They know who's batting where, who's pinch running, who's in the game, who's out of the game. But goodness gracious, with so many changes that these gigantic rosters present, it's almost miraculous that there is a mistake or two. A strike to Bohr, 0-1. Bohr's 0 for 2. He walked intentionally back in the third inning.
Braves have a bit of a shift on for Bohr, and that brings Dansby Swanson nearer the bag at second. And Anthony Recker was just signaling to him to make sure he knew that if Perez was running, that Dansby was a guy covering at second since he's closest. Big lead.
And going. Pitch in the dirt, no chance for Recker. Anthony couldn't pick it cleanly, and Perez stumbled at the second base bag. He's lucky not to have turned an ankle.
Yeah, he almost cartwheeled.
Miami with 4 stolen bases in this game. First by Perez, 3 of them by D. Gordon. So an RBI chance for Bohr with nobody out. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Recker wants to make sure he and John have the same set of signs. Angels just took a 5-4 lead over Houston in the 8th inning. Baltimore beat Arizona 6-1. Wade Miley got the victory. He'd been struggling mightily. Only his second win with Baltimore since coming over from Arizona.
And Minnesota beat Seattle.
That's a 3-2 final at Target Field in Minneapolis. Two balls and a strike for Justin Bohr.
The old Vulcan.
Well, he's pitching in the Starship Enterprise. That ought to be an excellent pitch for him.
And on Star Wars night, I mean, it may not be the right episode or the right show, but kind of goes together.
The 2-2 pitch. Bouncing ball to short. Perez got a good break on that ball and was able to take third on a high hopper. So he's 90 feet away. Bohr a productive out. Real Muto the batter. The Miami catcher doubled last time up. Only his 3rd hit in his last 19 trips to the plate. And that's been problematic for this Marlins club trying to make the playoffs. They ran into the Nationals and were really handcuffed in that series. Braves have done a good job on them up until tonight with the 5 runs scored.
Infield in again. They've had to play in a lot tonight. And
Recker a nice stop. 1 ball, no strikes. Mets are trying to come back. It was 10-0 Phillies. It's now 10-6 Phillies in the 7th inning in New York.
Yeah, I think the Phillies started kicking it around a little bit defensively.
The West Coast games are underway as well. First, the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Clayton Kershaw leads Colorado 4-0. The Giants behind Madison Bumgarner lead San Diego 3-0 also in the 4th inning. Bouncing ball toward third. Adonis had it, couldn't make the throw to the plate, and took a little too much time to get Realmuto at first. Great sliding stop. But a little indecision cost him a chance to get Realmuto, and Perez's great speed gave him really no chance.
Well, you knew Perez was going on contact because he's fast. He's a runner. He's a speeder. And when you got to go to the ground to field it, you really have no shot. And when he checked it home, too late to go to first. Because believe it or not, Realmuto, the catcher, runs well too.
So his 47th RBI. He stands at first for Echeverria, who's got a 2-for-3 game with a run scored. And Miami now a 6-4 lead.
That one hurt.
That ball was in the left-hand batter's box, and Echeverria swung at it. 1 ball, 1 strike. When the tale of this season is written for the Marlins, there's one team that they will say gave them fits. Actually, 2 in the division. Marlins are under 500 against the Phillies, way under 500 against the Braves this year. When the Braves have come to Miami, they have been very rude guests. Coming into play tonight, the Braves have won 6 of the first 7 games against the Marlins here in Don Mattingly's home park.
And 12 of the last 16 played here. Think about Shelby Miller coming within an out of throwing a no-hitter here last year.
High fly ball hit towards center. Ender Inciarte will make that catch, 2 out. And Ichiro Suzuki's up for a 2nd time. In the Braves' 8th, Markakis, Recker, and Swanson are the first 3. He's one of the game's great players. Ichiro Suzuki will get another chance tonight. He said as he was chasing that 3,000th hit, he'd like to play a handful more years in Major League Baseball. He's in tremendous physical shape. He could still hit, although he's faded a bit over the last 10 games. 1 hit in his last 18 tries. Taken low, ball 1. He trails Rod Carew by 25 hits for 24th on the all-time hits list. 4,306 professional hits in the United States, Canada, and Japan. 900 career multi-hit games. Interesting note too for a man that's said to have great power. Talked about that a lot. Ichiro could probably hit 20 home runs a year if he wanted to. All those hits, 3,028 of them, He has exactly one pinch hit home run.
It was this year
against the Phillies, September 6th. Runner goes, pitch a strike, throw to second is not in time. Short hop. And Realmuto steals his 12th base. Marlins are running wild. That's 5 steals for them in the game.
Yeah, and that's driving Anthony Recker crazy because he takes a lot of pride in his catching and throwing. And this throw was a short hop, and that's what took Dansby out of position to tag. He did all he could. But the glove's got to come up on the short hop and then back down for the tag.
And it looks like the Braves are going to challenge this call. One thing we've noticed about Dansby Swanson, he has very quick hands. He can get the tag down in a big hurry. But why not challenge? You might get a lucky break. And Realmuto, if this call is overturned, would be the final out of the inning.
You know what? They may have gotten him. Hard to tell where the base was there on that replay, but here's a good example.
That angle, he looked out.
Ah, he sure did.
So Buddy Carlisle in the Braves replay center in the clubhouse. So take a look at this one. And we await the answer from New York.
Well, that is so close, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Hard to tell when his fingers hit the bag. Normally a guy going in head first, his fingers are up so that he doesn't jam a finger.
So here's your answer. He is safe. I'm guessing not enough evidence to change the call. So the Braves lose the challenge. The call stands. And Ichiro Suzuki back in there with a 1-2 count. Finish him off, and then you don't have to worry about Realmuto at second base. It's been that kind of night for the Braves staff tonight. While they have pitched effectively at times, they have not thrown a 1-2-3 inning. A lot of deep counts.
Got a base open, but you got to pitch to this guy. Make him swing it. E. Gordon's had a good night. He's been on base 4 times. He's on deck.
Another 3-2 pitch coming for Ichiro Suzuki. And it's grounded towards short. Dansby's got it. And his throw to first is in time. And that retires the side. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left on Star Wars night in Miami. makes it Braves can use the force and come back from a 2-run deficit late. Tomorrow afternoon, then we'll get set for our final week of baseball at Turner Field. It starts Tuesday night against the Philadelphia Phillies. The Detroit Tigers in for the final weekend in Turner Field history. It is the final countdown. A lot of great fun happenings at the ballpark. We hope that you will join us for the final 6 games in Turner Field history. Go to Braves.com/final countdown for all the details. This is Kyle Barraclough. He's on to pitch. Already 74 games for him. He's a good one.
Well, he was awesome last night. He came in the 8th inning, faced Markakis, Flowers, and Jace Peterson. Struck out the side, all swinging, and didn't break a sweat. He's awfully good. Mid to upper 90s with a slider. If Francoeur checks in the game in left field, Suzuki goes to right.
And we've got a new first baseman too. And that's Derek Dietrich. And Rojas stays in the game to play third. So Brian Snitker was out getting all the defensive changes and wanted to make sure everybody was in the proper spot on the lineup card. We'll sort that out for you in a moment, as Nick Markakis leads off the Braves' 8th. He's reached base twice. He's been hit by a pitch and singled. (6-4) Miami. We're in the 8th. Marlins have some nice arms in their bullpen, don't you think?
I do.
This guy's one of them.
Ellington, very impressive.
All about Mike Dunn. David Phelps has started, relieved. He's closed some. And all about A.J. Ramos, who's turned into their closer. Guessing that Justin Nicolino will eventually be a starting pitcher for them, but he's getting some bullpen innings in 2016. That's guided down the third baseline and just foul. That would have been a nice start to the inning.
No kidding. Chalk. No chalk. Foul.
Entering play tonight, the Marlins bullpen. 29 wins. A 3.56 ERA. Averaging over a strikeout per innings pitched as a relief corps. That's impressive. Full count for Nick. Grounded toward D. Gordon. He's got it. Fairclaw retires Markakis to start the Atlanta 8th. One out for Recker. Anthony's doubled and scored in 3 trips. Dansby Swanson will follow him. Quick turnaround for these 2 ball clubs. Will wrap it up in Miami tomorrow. First pitch and odd start time, 1:18.
Hadn't heard that.
I guess that's what our notes say.
Sleep a little later.
Yeah, there you go. Julio Teheran's going to pitch for the Braves. He's looking for his first win against the Marlins this year.
So Jose Ramirez up, loosening up. He is back from his 3-day suspension.
And Gretchen just told me the reason for the 1:18 start is there will be a on-field presentation for Ichiro Suzuki. Popped up. At first base, Dietrich gives chase, leans in, and tumbles into the stands. Did he hold on? Yes, he did. Nice play by Derek Dietrich.
Nice play.
Nice play indeed. 2 outs for Dansby Swanson. He's 1 for 3. Nothing in 1. Two pitches in almost the same spot.
He just got good stuff. He throws hard. He's got a good slider. And if he can command that breaking ball, he is really going to be something. Gives him a lot of flexibility at the end of games.
One ball, 2 strikes. Well, barring a couple more runs for Miami in the bottom of the inning, figure A.J. Ramos will come on for the save in the 9th.
Pitching him really carefully, isn't he? A lot of respect here.
Jace Peterson's on deck. If Swanson could reach, Jace would be the tying run. And a shot toward Gordon, who plays it on a big hop. The throw to first in time. Bear Claw, an impressive 8th inning. Derek Dietrich's had himself a nice night. He hit a 2-run homer in the first. He just made a tumbling catch into the stands. And we head to the home 8th. Miami up 2. As fan, get as close to the action as you can without being in the lineup and keep your cool when you're on the edge of your seat with a state-of-the-art breathable mesh seat, the first of its kind in pro sports. SunTrust Park season tickets are going fast. Get them today at braves.com/dugout now. Braves are still in this game. It's 6-4, but we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. John Gant back to work. He's got D. Gordon leading off. Let's see if Gant can be the man that can retire Gordon. Nobody else has. He's reached base twice via walks, 2 singles, 2 runs, and he's stolen 3 bases.
Yeah, that last run they picked up, a big run in this ball game, makes it a little bit tougher late innings trying to get 2 to tie.
Gordon behind the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he slaps that one toward Adonis. He's got it and throws to first. Gordon out by a step, 1 down. First time Gordon's been retired. Here's Jeff Francoeur. Jeff's done nice work in a Marlins uniform. A .326 average with the Fish. Good fastball from John. 0-2.
Seen a few of those tonight.
We've seen a lot of counts like this as well.
Well, the first two he was trying to go upstairs. That one he was not.
And all of a sudden Gant lost the release point. He lost Francoeur. Jeff with another walk.
Hard to walk him, especially when you get ahead 0-2. But none of those pitches were anywhere near the plate.
So Dietrich the batter. Dietrich's had a nice night. 2-run homer in the first inning. Got things started against Aaron Blair, who led briefly 1-0. Twelve walks, 15 runs allowed by Aaron in the first inning this season, and that was a big part of the tale. Braves got it tied 2-2 in the second. Miami took a 3-2 lead in the third, and they have added on 2 in the fourth, 1 in the seventh.
Top of the 8th inning, the first true 1-2-3 inning of the night by either team.
Come back for the Braves be in the offing tonight. We'll talk about whatever the result with you on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. Yelich on deck. Let's see if Gant can get a ground ball at someone here.
Got a gift there. That was good.
Right there, strike 2.
I think Francoeur and Freeman are talking.
I think Freddie's listening. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Freddie's probably telling him, you need to run. You got to go. I've got 6 stolen bases. How many do you have? You don't have to wait for a sign.
He's going. Swing and a miss. Brecker's throw is on the money. A strike him out. Throw him out. Double
Way to
play.
go, Freddie.
Deked him again. Jeff thrown out trying to steal. And it's last chance for Atlanta. Bottom of the order coming up in a 6-4 game.
Braves baseball is sponsored by Bank of America and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
Well, during this terrific run for the Braves, we've seen all manner of victories. Last at-bat win last night, courtesy of Adonis Garcia's 2-out run scoring hit. Let's see if the Braves can muster a 9th inning rally for a second straight game. Chris Johnson takes over at first. A.J. Ramos takes over on the mound. He'll try to save it for the Marlins and earn them only their second home win against the Braves this year.
Ramos took the loss here last night. Came in a tie game. Braves were able to get that run across in the 9th inning thanks to Bonifacio and Garcia. Jace Peterson will try to get it started tonight.
Chris Johnson's at first. Rojas has moved across the diamond to play third. Jace Peterson leads off the 9th and takes strike 1. Peterson, then Bonifacio will bat. And a changeup to beauty. 0-2.
If you weren't with us last night, this guy is a 4-pitch pitcher, but he goes to the bullpen, starts warming up to figure out which ones he'll use.
Well, 3 different pitches in that sequence, and all 3 of them were strikes.
So he's got some good choices tonight.
1 away for Bonifacio. Bonifacio had a 1-out single, stole second, took third on a throwing error, and then scored on Garcia's hit in the 9th last night. Braves need a base runner and someone to launch one. They're down 2 runs, 6-4 in the 9th.
Base runner of any kind for the top of the order would be something nice.
Even count. Houston's having all kinds of problems in their 9th inning tonight. I think Ken Giles was unavailable. Is that one? He is called a strike. Bonifacio now a 2-2 count. I think Giles got hit with a line drive last night for Houston, and they were in a 1-run game. The Angels have blown that one open at Minute Maid Park. Here at 6-4 in the 9th. Miami leads, trying to snap the Braves' 7-game win streak. Fly ball center right at Yelich. He'll have plenty of room. And there's the second out. Let's see if Inciarte can keep the game alive. He's had a terrific night at the plate. 3 hits. 97 hits since the All-Star break. Strike 1.
A lot sharper tonight, isn't he?
Sure is. Lot to like. And a swing and a miss ends the game in the Marlins' favor. Ramos works a 1-2-3 ninth with a couple of strikeouts. And Miami gets on the board in this series. They beat the Braves 6-4, your final score. The Marlins pull back to within a game of 500. And in the process, the Braves' 7-game win streak comes to a close here in South Florida. We'll take a quick break, come back and recap it for you right after this.